Good afternoon, traders. This is Tony D with an update from the easyMarkets dealing room here in Sydney. We have an interesting open. We have the market selling off on the back of new tariffs being announced by the US. The tariffs that were threatened in the past, 200 billion more products that are imported from China to the US are going to get a 10% tariff. This is a little bit more aggressive in terms of timing than was expected because these were just proposed tariffs. Now they're getting pushed forward. Now this comes as a response to China retaliating to the initial 34 billion worth of tariffs that the US did put on, and has taken the market's focus back into trade wars. And you can see the Aussie dollar fell off a cliff when this was leaked, and it looks like it's actually been confirmed as well by US trade representatives. So it is back on in terms of negativity. The market can roll over here. It'll be interesting to see if we make new lows though, because this isn't new information. It is definitely focusing the attention of the market back on trade wars, but it may not lead to exactly heavy selling, as it's something that we're already prepared for to some extent. Now, range trading is definitely possible for the Aussie and the majors as well. It really depends on how the stock markets go and where they end up pulling back to, and how high things like dollar yuan go. Back at 6.67, 6.7 itself is the key level that it failed at on the first attempt, with a little bit of intervention from the Chinese government. Chinese stocks under a lot of pressure, gapping lower but bouncing, so not as aggressive as we've seen in the past. And you're looking at US stock market, pretty heavy selling, but then a nice 150 point bounce makes a little bit of downside pressure taken off. It may not be as aggressive response as we've seen in the past to news from these trade war fears. So from a bullish point of view, you want to see if the market starts to ignore headlines like this. From a bearish point of view, you want to see some follow through selling to get your positions to encourage sellers to keep on selling the rallies like we're just having right now. The big news overnight in terms of the pound is that it looks like there is not enough numbers to challenge Prime Minister May. Now the pound's rally on the back of this was cut short though, as we did see some data come in a little weaker than expected, slightly softer, nothing too great, and also just the US dollar in general being quite strong during the European session. So although the pound itself didn't end up moving much higher, we do have it higher against many of the crosses. So if you're looking at things like the pound Swiss and the pound yen, they were well off highs now after the new trade tariffs, but last night we're doing really well, and the pound itself is on a much better footing. You can see here the pound Aussie up around 200 points from its lows in the last 2 days, and so the pound is starting to gather strength here. We'll see over the next couple of days whether the May's new Brexit plan is accepted more widely. We do have it being announced, the white paper being released today, and from negotiations with Merkel overnight, it looks like that Merkel has a positive view of this and is supporting the current draft as well. So lots of reasons to be bullish on the pound. Perhaps not against the US dollar, given that there is risk off at the moment with the stocks, but against many of the other pairs, including the euro pound, you should see the pound start to outperform here if the Brexit progression continues. If you have any issues or questions, let us know. There's a lot of crosses in play. Contact us on the numbers below. If you're not a member of the easyMarkets dealing room, you want to have someone to assist you with your trading, or just chat about the markets in general, please sign up on the link below, and someone like myself will be assigned to your account.